Hi everyone. So I thought it's useful to show you how I generate linear equations for one of the examples that we had in our homework. So the way that you do linear regression on your calculator might be different from a calculator to another. I believe that Casio calculators are very similar. Today I'm using Casio FX991ES. And for this type of calculator, you do linear regression as follows. So first you have a question that has concentration and absorbance. We know that the concentration goes in the x-axis and the absorbance goes in the y-axis. So now we're going to start inputting the x and y coordinates into our calculator. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hit mode. And then from mode, I'm going to choose stat, number 3. That shows you different types of equations. We want to choose a linear equation, which is number 2, a plus bx. In that case, b is beside x, so b is the slope. So you want to take a note of what your calculator uses for the intercept and the slope. So I'm going to write down that a is the intercept and b is the slope. So a in my calculator is the intercept and b is the slope. So I'm going to choose number 2, which is the linear equation. And it gives me the chance to input x and y coordinates. So I'm going to start inputting them one by one. So for x's, I'm going to put the x's first. Or let's do x and y at the same time. So for x, 0, and I hit equal, y that corresponds to it is 0 for the absorbance. And then 1.5 x has an absorbance of 0.18. 2.4 for the concentration has an absorbance of 0.29. I actually prefer inputting all x's first and then all y's because mistakes are less, I guess. 3.7 because it goes down and then you don't really know where your cursor is. 0.46. And then for 5, y is 0.62. 7, 0.88. And then 9, y is 1.13. So you navigate using the arrows, going left and right, up and down. Then you have 12, and the y that corresponds to it is 1.51. I'm not going to put standard number 9 because I have a missing y value. You should have each value of x having one value for y. After inputting x's and y's, you should hit AC on the calculator so that it saves the numbers for x's and y's that you inputted in the memory of your calculator. If you do not do that, it's going to use the previously inputted x's and y's from other, I don't know, attempts or other trials, other questions, and it's going to have no values if you never inputted x's and y's into your calculator. So you're going to lose all values. So you have to hit AC to save x and y values. Now I'm going to hit shift and stat, number 1. And we're doing linear regression, so I'm going to choose 5 for regression. And now it gives me options: A for intercept, B for the slope, and R, if you remember, we used R squared to represent the linearity of the correlation between the concentration and the absorbance in our last in-person lecture number 7. So now I'm going to hit 1 if I need the intercept, equals. So my intercept, which is A, is equal to negative 7.5245. The slope, which is B, I'm going to go back and hit Shift, Stat, Regression, and I'm going to choose B right now, which is number 2, and hit equals. So the slope is equal to 0.1264, 0.1264. So now I'm going to be able to construct a linear equation. So y equals the slope times x minus the intercept I think the intercept was times 10 to the negative 4. Let's go back and check the intercept. So we have regression number 5. The intercept A. Yeah, I forgot to write the 10 times 10 times 10 to the negative 3. So this is times 10 to the negative 3. How did I know that I made a mistake? Because I should have an intercept that is close to 0. And 7.5 was a very high intercept for a linear correlation between the absorbance and the concentration that goes through 0 in normal cases. Okay, so now you have the linear equation that you can use to solve for the concentration if you have or if you are given absorbance values for unknown concentrations, just like we had for the homework question. If one more question is about the linear correlation, then you need to get the R square, you hit Shift Stat, and you do regression number 5, and you hit 3 equals. This is R. We need R squared, so now you need to square that value, and you get R squared. So we have an R squared of 0.9999, which is greater than 0.998, which we said should be our limit for what is good for having a good correlation, linear correlation between concentration and response from instruments. That's all I got, and that is very important for the exam. You should master using your calculator to build linear equations and to use linear regression. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you on Monday.